not saying we was worthy of winning this game today, but certainly our performance at times, there was huge positives, and it didn't reflect the actual scoreline.
Hi Scott, does 5-1 feel very harsh after that?
I think it does, yeah. I think that's fair to say. I think 5-1 does seem really harsh on us. My reflection on the game was for 60, 70 minutes, we were right in this game, really. I thought we was outstanding without the ball, with the ball. Asked the players to play with a real bravery and courage today. And probably when you say them words, you fall back on maybe a desire, a passion, and don't give up. But there's another side to that where you need to be brave, and we needed to show our quality. And I thought, like I said, for 70 odd minutes, we were right in this game. Caused City some problems. The 2 goals which can happen here, games can quickly go away from you, and the 2 goals were obviously hammer blows for us. I thought we reacted again in the right way and showed an impetus about us. And I think it's fair to say that the back end of the game just really falls away from us. And obviously the scoreline reflects the scoreline like it does. I didn't feel in game that game reflected a 5-1, but the facts are that's what goes down on print, and that's the reality.
Hi Scott. I imagine it's quite difficult for the team to play quite well as they have in this game, the Liverpool game, the United game. And I just wondered what you're saying to the players to try and keep them up, because it can be really dispiriting to play so well and then just have late things at the end.
I think they're going to be my biggest challenges this year, and us as a group, because I think you're right. We're coming the season's fixtures, what we've been produced or what's been there have been some real tough fixtures, and there's massive positives from them fixtures. But you're right, we've been given some hammer blows and some knockout punches in Man U away in the last minute, Liverpool, and then today as well in terms of the scoreline. I'm not saying we was worthy of winning this game today, but certainly our performance at times, there was huge positives, and it didn't reflect the actual scoreline. That's something I'll have to manage for sure, and anyone sitting in my position with us as a team, or us what the team we're going to be this year, I'm very conscious of that at the start of the season, and I always reference that to the players, really. So we've got some real core foundations here, and a real understanding maybe what the journey is going to look like at times. And I'm often one that takes a lot of positives, can see certain negatives, and I can see them in every fixture. But we'll keep going. We'll keep trying to perform like we did here, because if we perform like we did today, like I said, we'll be hugely competitive this year. And I think anyone coming into this stadium today, seeing a team that's just come up from the Championship, coming into the Etihad with the class, the quality of what Man City possess, I think you see a brave team today. I think you see a good team at times. I think you see a team that really can execute an endeavour about them. And for that, they take massive positives from.
Hi, Scott.
Hey.
In light of what you just said, how important is it to have experienced pros like Kyle Walker in the squad to keep the young players' heads up?
Definitely, yeah.
Well, and end up on the end of a 5-1.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, and I've been here many times watching as a spectator. I've played here as well, and I've also managed here. And that game today, I've seen it happen to a lot of teams, really. So certainly how the game goes, I was immensely proud. I stood in that technical box for 70 minutes, 60 odd minutes, from teams I've coached here, looking at a team. What I thought, yeah, we look every bit here. We're showing some real signs. I thought we had real courage about us. But you're right, them experiences, starting with me, starting with Carl, starting with Barnes. There's many in that changing room that need to be really rational in a world what sometimes isn't rational. This is the world we live in, and our egos are dented, and some of them boys in there are bitterly disappointed. I'll break it down to them, and I'll give them a real understanding of the positives and the negatives.
Hi, Scott. Good news, you're not going to be coming back to Manchester again this season, at least. You spoke about the bravery there. How important is that going to be when you are coming up against a different kind of pressure, against games that are a little bit more winnable, such as against a struggling Aston Villa or a Leeds United or even the Wolves? Are you going to need them to continue to be brave when the onus is on them to try and be a bit more attacking?
For sure, yeah, 100%. And we'll probably highlight our performances against the fixtures that we're coming out of. And if we can recreate that endeavour, that character, that quality, then it will give us an incredible foothold and an incredible chance to try and get results in them games. There's no easy games in the Premier League. And like I said, the biggest thing for me, my biggest learning over a team like we're going to be, is that morale and these little jabs that we're having don't detract from what we need to be and what we're going to need to do. We can foul, for sure, and at the end of this season it may be the case. We can lose football matches like we've lost today, for sure, but there's one thing that you need to always hold on to, and that's a togetherness and understanding, a real rational thinking, and a constant belief that you keep improving and you stand up to them challenges. And I've got a group here what I know will do that.